Hi, my name is Hannah. Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, we are getting ready to celebrate the holiday season. And since we have a house this year, we bought like a giant tree. It will be our tree for the next 20 years. I mean, this tree is so fluffy. I have only ever in my adult life had a 4-foot tall little like Charlie Brown tree, and it's really weird to have this big of a tree. So if you have suggestions for making a giant tree look more cohesive, let me know, because I have, just the ornaments on it. And I usually would put this angel on the top of my tree, and I'd put that on the top, and it looked so tiny and not like the right size for anything. So I am just trying to figure it out. Do I do bows or berries or something to try to make it look more full? I don't know. Let me know how you're decorating, how you're getting ready for the holiday season. And I have read some very interesting books the past week or so. This is take 2 on this video. I am excited to talk about these books, and hopefully I can get my thoughts across a little more clearly today, but let's just jump into those. Now, this book was a recommendation from Melinda at A Web of Stories, so I will link her channel down below, and I picked up Shutter by Ramona Emerson. This is following our main character, Rita, and she is a forensic photographer, but she sees ghosts. So right off the bat, I'm like, cool. The premise, it gives me all that like thriller, horror, I'm excited, and the mystery, she's gonna solve some crimes. And so that's what this is. There was a really interesting element of Rita being part of the Navajo Nation and how that played into her seeing these ghosts and what it meant to her culturally and in her family. And I thought that was really interesting. I think my only downside that I really had on this book was that it was kind of billed as a mystery thriller, and I didn't find the mystery to be very compelling. So I found myself a little bored by the actual mystery that was taking place, where the whole she's seeing ghosts and what is that gonna do to her and her as a person and her life. I thought that was really interesting, but the actual mystery that she was solving as, part of the police force kind of thing just didn't really grip me. And so for that reason, it's not my favorite book, but it had some really interesting elements, and I thought it was well done, especially just in giving a diverse look at kind of a bit of a trope, like the psychic member of the police force, right? Like, there's TV shows, there's all sorts of things like that. And I think that this did a good job at making it feel kind of new and fresh. I just wish the mystery had been a little more gripping for me. I heard about this next book from Olive at A Book Olive, so make sure to check out her channel if you haven't already. And this was Digital Gold, Bitcoin and the Inside Story of the Misfits Millionaires Trying to Reinvent Money by Nathaniel Popper. So this book does what the title says. It's giving you a biography of Bitcoin. How did it come to be? What philosophies brought it to be? Who are the main players? What was going on? And I was a little bit concerned as to whether this would be a very good book, because while I don't know very much about cryptocurrencies and I wanted to learn more, this book was written in 2015, and I do feel like there have been things that have happened since then, and it might be relevant to the story, and would this feel outdated or not relevant or useful? And I am really happy to say that this book is still, it just holds up. It gives you a really good primer on cryptocurrencies, and so you can understand recent events much better. And so I went away from this book feeling like, okay, while I don't profess to understand the ins and outs of Bitcoin, I do understand a little bit how it came to be, what a cryptocurrency might mean, what the philosophies behind it are. And for that reason, I gave this 5 stars. It was a very engaging story. The way it was told was good, but it also just gave really good, relevant information that I feel like is going to stand up to the test of time. You could read this in 20 years and still understand how Bitcoin came to be. And so I really liked that. I thought that it was just a very well done piece that is gonna hold up, even though it's about a technology that is going to have huge amounts of change. You will still be able to understand that period of time and how things started up. And I thought it was really well done. So glad I picked this up. If you are interested in any of that stuff, definitely pick this one up. I think it's a really good read to give you a lot of that basic information. Now, I had so many people recommend that I pick up Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. And I have been on hold for this book for basically a year, I think. I mean, it was last spring at the latest that I got on hold for this book. I have been waiting for it, and finally it was available, and I was able to read this book. We have Leah, who went on a deep sea mission and something went wrong. And finally, after months of worry, she goes home to her wife. Now, her wife, Miri, thinks, wow, my wife's back, things are gonna be back to normal, but something is wrong with Leah. And it jumps through time. So we have how the relationship built up between them, what happened in that deep sea mission, and what is happening to Leah now. So this book is a bit of a horror, and it's going to give you that kind of creepy sense, and I can really see where the author was going with this. The writing in this was really beautiful, and if you are in this book to just enjoy the tone and you want to sit on a quiet day, yeah, pick this up. I think that the writing is really lovely and will just kind of slowly take you along this story. For me, because my attention span is garbage, I was bored. I did this on an audiobook. How do you get bored in an audiobook? I never get bored on audiobooks. I like those. I was like, can we speed this up? What's happening? And then we just kind of got to the end and I felt like, so what? I just didn't get it. So this is a good book in that it was written well and had some interesting ideas. Did I like it? Not really. So it's not like a 5-star, it's not like a 1-star, I really hated it. I'm just kind of in the middle, like it was fine. So I didn't really get it. But I know so many people did. So if you've read this book and it spoke to you, tell me what you got out of it, because there's something that I'm missing. I'm not quite sure why this connected with so many people, because I left it kind of like, oh, okay, I guess that's it. Oh, I was a little bored, you know? So let me know what I did wrong when approaching this book. So quite a while ago, Kit at Kit the Reader recommended the book The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich, so I will make sure to link their channel down below. This book follows a few different people as everyone in the world's lives are changed one eventful day. Everyone in the world wakes up to find a box, and the box is the measure of your life, where it has a string, and the string tells you how long you're going to live, basically. People with long strings will live a long time. People with short strings are going to die much sooner. This is just exploring the ramifications of this. Throws in some nice stories about relationships, and when I saw this premise, I kind of rolled my eyes just a little bit, because, I mean, I read they both die at the end. I feel like this is some sort of fan fiction-y trope. There's a timer on your wrist that counts down till the day you die. Will they find love in time? Like, it just seemed like a kind of silly trope, but I ended up really enjoying this book. I think that it explored it in a way that was very interesting. So instead of just focusing on what do you do with the time you have left kind of things, it explored it in a much deeper sort of way. It went through the different reactions of different governments. It talked about the social impact, how it affected people's employment. It talked about the army, all these different things that would have consequences of this happening. And throughout this, you have some really sweet relationships, and you can see how they're building up over time, that in a way that felt fairly genuine. So I appreciated that. I feel like it did have a good exploration of what makes life meaningful and what do you do with your time, and does knowing when you're going to die change what you're going to do now? And I thought that that was all really well done. The one thing that I feel like maybe wasn't explored as thoroughly as I would have hoped is the sadness that couples would feel when they live longer than their partner. So in this book, I feel like there was this, okay, here's a couple, one gets a short string, one gets a long string, and the one with the long string feels this relief that they at least get to live long, even though they're so sad that their partner is going to die. I think I was thinking about myself, and I'm like, I think I would be so sad if I knew that I was going to have to live so long without my partner, right? I think that there was maybe a little bit of something missing with that, because I don't think I would feel relief knowing that I'd live longer than my partner. I think I'd feel an immense sadness, and I think it was brushed upon, but I just feel like maybe that wasn't quite explored, but so much of it was explored and it was really well done, and I thought that the relationships felt very genuine. So overall, I really enjoyed it. Would I say 5-star book? Not quite, but it's close, right? Like, this is, if you like this kind of trope, read this to see it done really, really well. And that is what I have read the past week or so. I have already finished a few other books, but I will talk about those in the next video. So if you have any thoughts or opinions about these books, please leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you all on the next one.